Hello students, let us start with the antiferromagnetic solids. Now these are the solids which are expected to show paramagnetism or ferromagnetism on the basis of unpaired electrons. So unpaired electrons are there on the basis of unpaired electrons, but actually they have zero net magnetic moment. So if the net magnetic moment is zero, such solids are called as antiferromagnetic solids. Now magnetic moments are aligned in a compensatory way so as to give zero net magnetic moment. So this is important here. These antiferromagnetic solids, those are having the zero net magnetic moment. That means the total magnetic moment. And this antiferromagnetism is due to presence of, this is due to presence of equal number of magnetic moments. Magnetic movement is there, but it is equal number of magnetic movement in opposite direction, but the direction of these magnetic movement is opposite, so that they cancel out each other and the net magnetic moment is zero here. So you can show this like this. So it's unpaired electrons, these dipoles, they will arrange this way, or they are aligned in this direction, exactly opposite to one another. So you can see here these are the parallel and anti-parallel spin, and parallel and anti-parallel spin. Means unpaired electrons are there, but those are arranged parallelly and anti-parallelly so that the net magnetic moment should be equal to zero here. So the zero net magnetic moment is, this word is important in case of antiferromagnetic solids, even though they are having this unpaired electron. For example, you can quote some examples like MnO. You have to remember those examples. In MCQ, this can be asked. Or Mn2O3, all manganese oxides, nickel oxide, cobalt oxide, and etc. So this is about the antiferromagnetic solids. Now proceed further for ferrimagnetic solids. Ferrimagnetic solids. So these ferrimagnetic solids are expected to show large magnetism. They show large magnetism due to presence of unpaired electrons. Due to presence of unpaired electrons, but they have in fact small net magnetic moment. So this is, you can differentiate between antiferro and ferrimagnetic. Here in case of ferromagnetic they have zero magnetic moment, and here in case of ferrimagnetic they have small net magnetic moment, or little small net magnetic moment is there. Now how are they, this magnetic moment? They are arranged, the electrons are arranged in this way, with this pattern, or align, they align this way. This should be upward arrow, then again downward. There is a fixed pattern, but after these two are parallel, one is anti-parallel. These again two are parallel here, one is anti-parallel. So in this way, those are aligned. So this spin is parallel and anti-parallel. Parallel spin and anti-parallel spin is there, the electrons. And this results in a small net magnetic moment, whereas in case of antiferromagnetic, this net magnetic moment is zero. Now ferrimagnetism, it arises due to alignment of magnetic moments in parallel and anti-parallel, parallel and anti-parallel direction in unequal number. So here it is an unequal number. unequal number resulting in some net magnetic moment or small net magnetic moment. For example, we can write, you have to remember these examples. Fe3O4 or the ferrites. Ferrites, you can write ferrites can be written in this way. This is actually M2 plus Fe2O4, and this M can be zinc, copper, or magnesium. You can write the formula like this: Zn plus 2 Fe2O4, Cu plus 2 Fe2O4. These are called as ferrites, or Mg plus 2 Fe2O4. Okay. So these are the examples for ferrimagnetic solids. Now, what is the influence of temperature on the magnetic character of the solid? I write here only. Make some space for you. What is the effect of temperature? Effect of temperature on magnetism. Now, this is again a very important point, which is very small one. Now, ferro, antiferro, and ferrimagnetic. So, ferro, antiferro, and ferrimagnetic solids change into the paramagnetic one. Those can be changed into paramagnetic. Remember, those can be changed into paramagnetic state on increasing temperature. On increasing temperature means if the temperature is increased, ferro, antiferro, and ferrimagnetic substances can be changed to paramagnetic, increasing temperature. And this is due to the randomization of their spins. Means the spins which are having some particular, or spins those are aligned in a particular way, those can be randomized, because we have seen in paramagnetic one the spins are random like this. Okay. So the temperature above which the solid becomes paramagnetic, this is called Curie point. Curie point is nothing but the temperature above which solid becomes paramagnetic. This temperature is called as a Curie point or Curie temperature. Okay. Now, next we can summarize this all properties of the solid at a glance. Now, in case of, I summarize this and put it in a tabular form. These are the diamagnetic one. These are always having the paired electrons. Diamagnetic solid, those are repelled weakly in magnetic field, and the magnetic alignment is like this in case of diamagnetic. And these are the examples: benzene, sodium chloride, V2O5, N2H2F2, and this can be used as an insulators one because they are showing no magnetism. Whereas this paramagnetic solids, those are having unpaired electrons, those are weakly attracted in magnetic field, and these cannot be permanently magnetized. Whereas this diamagnetic, those are repelled weakly. When you say repelled weakly, means those are attracted in a magnetic field. Okay. Now here the next, the magnetic alignment, you can see here, magnetic alignment here, those are aligned randomly. This alignment of the magnetic moment is random in case of paramagnetic one. And these are the examples of this paramagnetic substances. Now the ferromagnetic substances, these contain unpaired electrons, those are strongly attracted, whereas this paramagnetic, those are weakly attracted. If we compare this with the ferro, these ferro are strongly attracted in magnetic field, and this can be permanently magnetized, whereas these paramagnetic substances, those cannot be permanently magnetized, and those are having the net magnetic moment at Curie point. Okay, and this can be changed to paramagnetic one. If they are having the net magnetic moment, and at Curie point they are changed to paramagnetic one. I just spoke about the Curie point. Curie point is the temperature where the ferromagnetic, antiferro or ferric can be changed to a paramagnetic one. Means when it is changed to paramagnetic, that it means that the alignment is changed to this pattern. Randomization of the magnetic moment, alignment of the magnetic moment. Okay. In case of ferro, this is the in this way this magnetic moments of the electron, these are aligned in magnetic field. And the examples are this: Fe, Ni, cobalt, and CrO2. Now this antiferromagnetic, these are again having unpaired electrons. Net magnetic moment is zero. Remember, these ferromagnetic compounds or the substances, they have net magnetic moment, but this antiferro, they have zero magnetic moment, and the magnetic alignment is like this. They are aligned in this way. And the examples are like this: Cr2O3, cobalt oxide, Fe2O3, MnO, MnO2. Now the ferrimagnetic, those are again having this unpaired electrons, and the net magnetic moment is there, but it is less than ferromagnetic sections. Okay. Means in case of antiferro, the net magnetic moment is zero. In case of ferromagnetic, net magnetic moment is there, but in case of ferri, it is less than the ferromagnetic. Remember this. And this is the way the magnetic alignment is shown by this ferrimagnetic substances. And the examples are Fe3O3 and ferrites. Ferrites like this: M+2 Fe2O4. M may be copper, zinc, and magnesium. So if you have looked at this table, you will see that all the 5 types of magnetic properties or the magnetic solids are differentiated. And if you look at this at a glance, you will be able to find the difference between them, and it will be easier for you to remember all these things. And this table might be useful for you to solve MCQs based on this magnetic property